How's it going? How's it going? Welcome. It is I, TJ, coming out straight live from M5 Property Addicts. This is where we talk about anything real estate, and anything about passive income through property. And this is where we spend our time actually just to understand what can be done within the property space. How can you make money? And how can you lose money? Yeah, it's never the good. There's always the good and the bad, the ugly, the truth, and the real thing. And welcome. It is Thursday, so we speak Thursday legacy. So good mornings, and I just want to find out from you, where are you watching me from? So in the comments there, wherever you are watching me from, drop me a message. Say, hey TJ, I am watching you from X. Is it bedroom? Is it on the road? Is it at the office? Some companies have started opening up, and we now have, like a 30% capacity coming into different offices. Some companies have said, hey, we are going to continue working from home because we have mastered how to do this within the last 4 months, whatever it is. Well, for me, I am one of those privileged guys where, I used to work full time. I used to have a job. I used to be employed. But I am now kind of like employed by the company M5 Property Addicts. But I also own the business, so I am my own boss. However, being my own boss, I'm also accountable to other partners, and that's the beauty of working with partners. You are accountable to other people. So obviously, then that means that I need to work. But my biggest shareholders, being my kids and my wife, those are the people that drive me to be what I'm doing every day. And I don't know who are the people that you're accountable to. And at large, you, to make sure that, every day I'm coming out here, even though when I'm feeling like I don't want to go live today, like I don't feel like the internet is working today, but you make it work because I'm accountable to you. And you, with the questions that you ask us, the interactions that you get, the love that you send in this journey of us of property, I appreciate it, and I am grateful of you, every one of you. I might not know your name. Of late, actually, I've been getting some calls and things like that, and someone says, hey, TJ, I'm a big fan. I like this property thing, man. I'm getting so much knowledge, and I've been in the closet. And I'm like, why are you being in the closet? Come out, come out. Let's talk about it. But, when I was working as well, I think for the longest time, I was in the closet as well. I didn't want anyone to know that I'm doing property. And I realized that I was actually failing because nobody knew what I was doing. I was looking for opportunities, but nobody knew that I am looking for opportunities. That's tip number 1 for the day. For free! Yeah. So speak about what you're wanting to do. And today is Thursday Legacy. I thought, let me tackle a very key, important conversation because I've been seeing this happening in the communities where I stay, in the country, and it's a little bit of worrisome to me. And I thought maybe let's just have the quick conversation here around investing. So, and this is particularly not about property, but I'll bring it back to property again. And I want to speak to the point of investing. Is it important to invest? And why should we be investing? Yes, it is important for us to invest, because obviously if you are investing, you are creating something that's going to give you some money. But I want to stress the fact that the giving you of money there, in terms of timeline, that's where I've got a problem. So you can say, yeah, Uncle TJ, you got a problem. Yeah, I got a problem with that. So for a lot of investment, we are plowing in money, and we're hoping to get the money 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 20 years' time. I don't know, retirement. Yeah. So I want to give you guys an example, but not an example. I'd like to challenge you today. So some of you, you're employed, and you jump from one employer to the next. You probably had a retirement fund or something like that, or whatever plan that you had, and now you're with another different employer, and you're still paying off on the old one, and the other employer's got a different one. So you kind of like have 2 running, and you are topping up on this one because you should pay it. And I used to be that guy, and Back in the days, I actually used to think that, when I retire or the day that I'm going to retire, these investments will help me. But I then looked at my own circle. I looked at my parents and I looked at other people in my community and I said, how many of these people are actually surviving off whatever that they have saved off from in their investments? And I realized that from an investment perspective, there were quite a few people who are actually living the life that they want to live from an investment perspective. And that got me worried. That's number one. And then number two, I was also a little bit worried from the point that they actually had to wait until they retired for them to reap the benefits. There's many products out there that we can talk about investments. But the whole point I'm trying to put across here is that you are investing, putting money away, and out of that putting money away, you are then going to reap the benefits at a later stage. Allow me to go against the grain here in property. I've also seen the same fundamentals being put in the property. So buy a property today, you are going to be making a loss, so don't make money, and that's okay. And folks think that's okay, but you can be making money in 5 years' time. You can make money in 10 years' time. Hey, you can make money when the bond is paid out, right? And I've got a problem with that. I've got a problem with the fact that I have to wait for the payments, or should I say reaping the benefit of my investment in a property in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time. We are living in Corona right now. COVID is here. It is here to stay. Probably some vaccines are coming. We are praying hard for that. And we are praying for all of those people there that are suffering from the COVID. I've been unfortunate. None of my family members have been attacked on this. But I've got very close friends, people, some that have also been affected and who have become relatives. And we've been prayerful. Some have managed to come out of it, and some they have gone to see Jesus. So that's the reality of life. I think I want to stress the fact that we shouldn't be afraid, especially if we are from Jesus. We shouldn't be afraid, to be hit with COVID or anything else that we go to heaven. If we're Christians, that's the reason why we're Christians. Right? At some point, to go to heaven, right? So this is the opportunity. You might be going through COVID or whatever, but it's a different way of thinking. Yeah, just a different way of thinking. But let's come back to our conversation. And this conversation is more around, so now you're investing in property. Should you be getting your investments, the process of your investments, now or later? I would like to go against the grain. Allow me to go against the grain. And for some of you, you know that I do that a lot because you know some of the deals that I'm getting into, I'm jumping into, I'm cracking. I've been at it for the last 5 years. So we're not like, my Solos. No, we're not. Now, I want to come back to stress that if you're buying a 1-bed, a 2-bed, whatever that you're buying, and I'm going to start speaking from a perspective of you're just doing this for the first time. You don't know what you don't know. And you're subsidizing, so you got a tenant in there. It's an investment, isn't it? That's what it is. So it's an investment, you've got a tenant in there, and that tenant is paying rent, and potentially you are topping up the bank. I used to do that, by the way, right? Without knowing what I know. And out of that, you're topping up, right? And it's an investment. You're calling that an investment. Can I challenge your thinking? It is not an investment. It is a liability. Liability. You are taking money out of your pocket too, right? Plug in there. Can you get money out of it 5 years? I don't know. Maybe so. But what if the market tanks? What if there's more properties on the market and the demand is high? In 5 years' time, like for instance, where I stay 10 years ago, we didn't have the amount of the properties that have mushroomed up. We didn't have that. And I can safely say to you that there is potentially hundreds of thousands of houses that have been built around where I stay. There's like 4 complexes, shopping complexes that have been built around where I stay. If I take like a 20 kilometer radius out of where I stay, in terms of where the land used to be barren, where farms used to be, about 5 to 10 years ago when I moved, I've been staying on my property now for the last 10 years. So we were in the outskirts, almost like on the outskirts, and like going into the farmlands. And in the farmlands, we have gone in 10 to 20 kilometers, and there's complexes coming up, all of them. Now you tell me that you are buying for an investment today and you're not making money today and you're banking for next 5 years, next 10 years. I tend to differ that that's a good investment, right? I'm not a financial advisor, right? But I tend to differ that's not an investment. What do I do if I'm not a financial advisor? I do properties. I talk about what I do. Those that are keen, they copy and paste. You can. Anyone can do this. So why am I talking about the fact that when you're buying these properties, then there is an investment, in 5 years' time, that's when you're going to be banking money. 10 years, that's when you're going to be banking money. 20 years, now you're owning this outright, but you've been plowing in here. Can I challenge your thinking to say, what if you buy the same 2-bed, 1-bath in today's time and you get 500 Rand on that property now, today, right? And as you grow, you're getting into 600, you're getting into 1,000 Rand, you're getting into, so as the years come by, you're still getting more and more profits out of it. Is that not a good investment? It's a question that I'm asking. I think it's a good investment. That's why I do that every day. Right. So what do you do if you've got assets that are like that? That's the question. And I'm going to answer that in the next couple of videos that we're going to be doing. And what do you do if your assets are in that position where you are actually subsidizing? Quick things, one of the things maybe you can do, yeah, well, you can sell off whatever that's not performing. That's my view. I sell off whatever that's not performing, right? That's number one. Number two, a lot of people will say, hey, put in a heavy deposit. You've put in money in it. But whatever money that you've put in, you now need to calculate the return on investment on that money. Because if that money was sitting maybe at the bank, you could be getting a better return at the bank. Actually, this money that's on this property, it's not actually your money. So is it a good investment? I am pro buying a property today, getting your proceeds today, starting from today. Of course, COVID is here. Of course, you might have a tenant not paying you 1 or 2 payments. It does happen. You're dealing with people. But the reality of it is that your deal, your investment needs to make sense from day one. Positive income. You need to be making money from day one. Do not fall for the school of thinking that an investment is for 5 years to 10 years to come and you are plowing in money. That's not an investment, it's a liability. But well, that's my definition. But you can challenge my definition, and in the comments in there, you can tell me exactly what you guys think. And then Andy Siwe, welcome. Yeah, Andy Siwe, she's on our Facebook. She says, I like to rip them now. Yeah, that's it. You know, I'm of the view I'm happy to reap the proceeds now in smaller amounts, but I should be, because 500 Rand right now, I think my gas on my gas on my car, I think maybe about a 600 to 1,000 Rand. I haven't been pouring gas. I've been traveling quite a bit. Yeah, but I think about 700 Rand, I think my tank tops up. You know, I drive a very small car. And with that, if I was getting that on a monthly basis, that's a great savings already on my balance, on my income statement. Or what else can I do with my 500 Rand? Let's say maybe I've got a helper at home, I'm paying at 3,500. Already I've got a savings on my helper's payment for 3,500, so now I'm paying at 3,000. Does it make sense? So it kind of like chips away. What if I can take the kids out for a weekend? What if I can take the missus out for a weekend? Can 500 Rand do something that's significant? That's just the question here. Okay, Andy Siwe, I like that thinking there. Lubabalo says, that sounds like a good investment, but how do you do it? Boom. The how part of it, very simple, Lubabalo. Very practically, if you want to start and you've never done this before, there is 2 ways that you can do it. The first one is that you can do it yourself. How do you do it yourself? You need to learn how to do it. I didn't start where I am today. I started off in a two-bed, one-bath that I bought for 160,000. But I got the education of how to do it, and then my eyes got trained in identifying the good opportunities. So it is the education that you're looking for. And in the comments in here, once this video is done, you can jump on to www.m5propertyvarsity.com, and then you can be able to join there as a member, and you can get the education to do it yourself. However, I know that not a lot of people are maybe scared to do it themselves. If you got some money, you can invest alongside me, but you can invest a minimum of 100,000. And again, the link is below. You pick which one you want. Cynthia says, the question is, how do you reap the process now? I think we've covered that one, right? So you need to buy correctly. So let me jump back to my two-bed, one-bath, right? So I bought it for 160,000, and we had a renovation of 50,000. So we're all in there for 210. That was my first ever deal. A good investment that I did. And by the way, I'd actually bought several other properties before, and all of those properties were not yielding anything. I was topping up, right? So now on this one here, because I was educated, I knew where to find the opportunities. I knew how to identify them. So I actually found this property online for about 390, but I negotiated it to 160. Once I did that, I was now able to renovate it for an additional 50,000. So I was all in now for around about 210. Guess what the rent on that property was? 5,000 rand. So on the 5,000 rand, whether I bought the property cash or whether I used the bank, if you subtract 5,000 rand, you subtract 2,100, I'm still left with an odd 3,000, isn't it? And then out of it, I had another 1,000 that I used to pay for my rates and taxes together with my levies. So at average, I was left with just below 2,000 rand. If you do the maths there, easy calculation, right? And that can be done. I'm not the only one who does this. You can go on our YouTube. You can see some of the videos that are on there. Some of the guys that are killing some good deals. Every Friday we drop someone else who is doing exactly what I'm doing, or even slightly different or very different. People like to do properties in different ways, but you can learn how to do it. And that's how you learn. It comes from learning, right? And if you're one of those people that want to dive into reading books, there's plenty of books that you can read. You can read my book that will give you a little bit of learnings, from Bed Debt to Property Mogul. It's an easy read, very small book. You can read it in one weekend. But there's so many of these books. I can go on. I'm a great fan of Robert Kiyosaki. I've got plenty of books from Robert Kiyosaki that I read. I've got plenty of YouTube videos that I'm learning from, attending seminars, and learning. So it all comes out of it. If the more you learn, the more you are going to win. If you're not learning, you are not going to win. And I think that's where it really matters. And I want to stress the fact that if you're not learning, then obviously there is a problem in terms of what you can do. And I want to stress the fact that, remember, when you are employed, right? And I want to take the scenario of investing for later. So invest now and get your money later. Would we be okay, and this is my closing comments, would you be okay to go to work today so that you can get paid in 5 years' time? Would you be? Definitely not, isn't it? You want to get paid now. I mean, now could be in 15 days. People get paid fortnightly, or you can get paid on a monthly basis. So why do we accept the thinking that when you're investing in a property, you have to get paid, reap the profits in 5 years and 10 years' time, or when the bond is paid up? Why do we do that? The other thinking is that, would we be okay to go through into a business venture now and we get paid in 5, 10, 20 years later? The answer is no. We want to survive now. So why don't we apply the same knowledge and to execute that on the property side. Hey, my name is TJ Taurai Jack. It is Thursday Legacy, and I just wanted to provoke your mind around this legacy thing, because you can't create a legacy. Remember, legacy is where you are now, and you're building your building. Right now, we're creating legacy. Right now, I am creating my legacy at the moment, and you are as well. You can create it by default, or you can create it by design. I am living life by design. So I'm designing it. I know what I want it to do, right? So I'm doing investments because I know that the people that loves me, they are going to reap the benefit of that. They're reaping the benefit now, and they're going to reap the benefit still tomorrow. Now, if they're reaping the benefit today, it is in small quantities because I'm using a lot of debt. I enjoy debt, right? I now know how to manage debt, right? So I now understand how debt works. So I bring in the debt, and that's how we're growing. But as we pay off the debt, so becomes my income. So that's growing. So from that perspective, you see that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I am banking some money now, but in the 5 to 10 years, it's going to 10x, triple, I don't know. But it's just some food for thought. It is I, Taurai Jack. It's been good chatting with you. Yours, author of the book, From Bad Debt to Property Mogul. Catch you on the flip side. Let me know of your thoughts on this conversation. It is our legacy, so let's talk about it. And you can continue adding in some comments as we go along. Have a fabulous Thursday. We'll chat again soon. God bless and goodbye.